Jeff Dickens from the Media Research Center has been watching the nightly newscasts. And, Jeff, thanks for coming on the program tonight, sir.
Thanks for having me on, Cameron.
You bet. All right, so you looked at ABC, CBS, NBC since the Newtown murders and since President Obama announced his call for gun control. And what did you find?
Well, we found an overwhelming disparity. In terms of number of stories, we found 99 came out with a anti-gun position to just 12, which you could call pro-gun stories. And they pretty much started. No, they did start exactly on the night of that tragic shooting. It's like they couldn't wait to start advancing gun control measures. Right on December 14th, you had reporters and anchors from all three networks saying, "Is this a chance to push gun control legislation along?"
Interesting. Now, some of these numbers here, anti-gun spokesmen outnumber pro-gun spokesmen nearly 2-to-1 on the nightly newscasts.
Yes, that's right. I mean, you're far more likely to hear from Gabrielle Giffords and Mark Kelly, or someone from the Brady campaign than you were a David Keene or Wayne LaPierre. It was staggering. The voices were pretty much just drowned out, the pro-gun voices.
An interesting anecdote. You talk about Nora O'Donnell and Charlie Rose going after Rahm Emanuel from the left.
Right.
Now Rahm Emanuel's been out here calling for all kinds of gun control laws, trying to bully banks into not doing business with gun manufacturers, but that wasn't enough for CBS and Nora O'Donnell.
No, they had like I said, Rahm Emanuel, and they were badgering him, and they said, Nora O'Donnell even waived a campaign, piece of literature from the Brady campaign, saying, "Hey, look, Obama got an F from the Brady campaign. Why aren't you doing more?" It was really staggering. And this was you would think someone that they would support, and they were just saying they weren't doing enough.
Yeah, no, well, look, I mean, we've seen, and CBS. Which is sad because CBS has some good reporters. I think Cheryl Atkinson and her work with Fast and Furious
stories were great. Yeah.
Outstanding. What she's done in covering Benghazi, I think, has been excellent. But then you've got people like Bob Schieffer, who compared the NRA and the fight against the NRA here to taking on segregationists. In the Jim Crow era South, and taking on the Nazis. I mean, he said, "Look, we took on the Nazis, we took on the KKK. Why can't we take on the gun lobby?"
Well, and what's staggering too is this is someone that does not know their history. They're so stuck in their sort of liberal mindset they don't even know that the NRA back in the day armed African Americans to save them from lynchings. I mean, anyway, I could go on about that, but
well, yeah, no. Look, I mean, and I pointed this out. Tom Brokaw said something very similar as well about referring to the Jim Crow laws, which, as you say, Jeff, I mean, these were laws that were designed to keep Black Americans disarmed, to make it very difficult for them to own firearms for their protection, the protection of their families. And that's a shameful part of American history, that we had Americans deprived of their right to keep and bear arms by those in charge.
And that's the thing that the media doesn't seem to understand. Like, they're big First Amendment advocates, and they're advocates of all sorts of civil rights, and they don't seem to acknowledge that, in a lot of ways, your right to defend yourself is a civil right.
I would say it's the most important civil right.
Right.
Absolutely. So how does this compare, Jeff, to like after Columbine, like the last time that there was a big push for a gun control within the media? How are the newscasts faring? Have they gotten better? Are they worse?
Well, it's actually, that's interesting you brought up, because I did a study way back in 2000, and it came after, it basically encompassed the 2 years that surrounded Columbine, Paducah, Jonesboro, and the media frenzy over that. And back then, the anti-gun stories to pro-gun stories was a ratio about 10-to-1. This year, in basically about 34 days of coverage after Newtown, it's 8-to-1. And I think that maybe is just more of an example. That sort of slight improvement, I should say, if it's very slight, is due to more like gun groups and people like the NRA doing a little better job of getting their sound bites, their guests on. But it's still a staggering ratio.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, Jeff, it's fascinating stuff, and thank you for having to watch all of these newscasts that we don't have to.
right. No problem. It's my pleasure to do so.
Appreciate it. Look forward to having you back on again soon.
Thank you.